Namaskaram everybody. Today I'll be showing you how to make a Clay Ganesha. This is an eco-friendly Clay Ganesha as we are using Dar's clay, which you can find in any hobbycraft or the works. This is the terracotta clay, so when you touch it, it should feel a bit soft. We'll be using that, toothpicks, which you can find at Tesco, and bamboo skewers, which you can also find at Tesco. If you want, you can add a little umbrella, which we bought at Tesco, but this part is optional. So this is our pack of clay, and it shows you where to cut it open because it is a bit tricky to cut open. So they show you where using the scissor symbol. So I'm going to cut it open here. So you can tear this in half instead of using a knife or scissors. So what you want to do now, using half of the clay, you want to create one big ball about this size compared to half of the clay, which is here. And you want to also create a slightly smaller big ball for the head. This is going to be the body, this is going to be the head, and a similar sized ball for the stand. You want to make two balls for the ears, two similar sized balls for the arms, and two of the same balls for the legs. You want to use a tiny ball to make a thread out of to put around the Ganesha, and you want to make a slightly bigger ball to make the trunk. You want to make a similar sized ball to make the crown or the hat, and that's pretty much it. So first what we're going to do is we're going to make the stand. So first, as you can see, the balls aren't very soft and they're not very round. So what we want to do is we want to press it. We want to press it out. We want to knead it for a long time, around half a minute. And if there are any creases like this, you can always just wipe this rounding clay to make the ball a bit smoother. You don't want to get rid of the clay, you want to just wipe the clay onto those cracks. Now what you want to do, because this is the stand, we want to make it into a circular shape. So you want to either press it or roll it out. I'm going to press it. You can use your palm if you want, or the bottom of your palm you can use to press it. So what you want to do for the cracks on the outside, you want to just smoothen them out too. I've already done it for this one, so there you go. There's the stand, and you want to round it off. You want to press the outsides. Now what we want to do is we want to make the body. So as you can see, this ball is quite wrinkled and not that round. So we want to use the same technique. We want to knead it until the clay becomes softer. After a while of kneading, we can roll it into a ball and use the same technique as before to cover up the wrinkles. So after kneading it, you want to turn it into a ball like last time. So what we want to do after making the ball for the body, we want to put it close to the back of the circle stage. So putting it like that, we can apply it by doing this. We can press the clay down onto the stand. So now that we've done that, it looks like the body is onto this platform, and now what we want to do is make the head. So what we want to do now is the same as before. We want to knead it to make the clay soft. We want to do this for everything, and then you want to make it into a ball. Now after you've done that and cleaned all the wrinkles, which I've already done beforehand, you want to put it onto the body, closer to the back, just like how we put the body onto the stage. So you want to use the same technique on the back and just press some of the clay to the body. So after we've just applied the back clay, we want to take one of our skewers and hold it up against your Ganesha to see how big it is. So now that we've aligned it to the body, we can see how much we need to cut. Put your finger up to the head. You want to move it up just a little bit so that we can put the crown onto the top. So cut it just there. So now that we've done that, we can put the skewer from the top of the head. You want to put it at the back, and you want to make sure it goes all the way through the head and through the body and through the platform, so that it holds them all together. So when you press it, so this is the most that it can go. That means it's touching the ground. And there's a little bit more so that we can put the crown on the top and it will balance. So now what we want to do is we want to make the ears. So now after finishing making the ball, you have to press it down into a circle, but then try and make it into the shape of the ear, like this. We can attach them to the sides of the head, like this, but you want to allow some of the ear to fold back to the back of the head. So as you can see here, you want to allow some of the ear to fold back. So what we want to do is we want to press that clay and allow it to attach to the head, like that. So what we want to do now is, even though that this ear is attached to the head, we want to add some extra support using the toothpick. So what we want to do is cut off the ends, just a little bit off the ends. So like this, just a little bit. So that there's the pointy bit and just the side that you cut, just a little bit. And now what we want to do is we want to put it on that back bit of the ear. You want to push it all the way through to the head, and just leave a little bit out. That's it. And that will give it extra structure for the ear. Now that I've attached both of the ears with the sticks in the back, we want to make the arms and the legs. What we're going to do now is we're going to use two of the balls that we made before to make the arms. Using the same technique, we're going to knead them, and we're going to make them into balls and get rid of the wrinkles so that we can make them into arms. So after you've made the balls, you want to roll them into almost cylinder type clay bits so that they look like the arms, and we want to fold them like this, like into the shape we want. But first, what we need to do is attach them to the body, just like we did for the ears. We want to attach it to the back almost and rub the clay onto the back. So what we want to do now, after rubbing the clay onto the back, we want to do the same thing as before. Put the toothpick through the arm and into the back. I'm going to press it through, and so it's attached. So when I turn this around, what I've done here is I've made a hand by pressing a bit of the clay and turning it a bit up to make it look like he's blessing. And you want to attach just a bit of the bottom here using the rubbing technique to the body. You want to just rub a bit of the clay nearest to the back to the body so that it stays in place. So what I've done here is the same thing but for the other arm. So this time I put the toothpick a little higher so that it would add more stability to the arm. Same with this one, I applied another toothpick which was a bit higher up the arm to make it more stable. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use two of the other balls that we made, and using the same technique, kneading them, making them into a ball and making sure there aren't any wrinkles, we'll make the legs. I have attached the legs by using the same exact technique as the arms. It's just that this time at the front, I folded the legs out just a little bit at the end to resemble the foot. And I'm just clearing off any other wrinkles that are there. Now, using one of the other balls that we made and the same exact technique, kneading and making a ball, we're going to make the trunk. So we're going to use the same technique as we used for the arms and legs, except we're going to make it a bit thicker because it's a trunk. So this is what I made for the trunk. So it's a bit thicker than the arms and legs, and it's a bit long, but we can cut that off later on if we need to. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach it to the front of the face from the top. So I made the trunk now, it's a bit thicker and a bit longer than the arms and legs. And where we're going to put it is on the head. We're going to put it on the lower part and we're going to attach it using the same technique. We're going to rub the clay onto the face just like this so that it attaches to the head. So now that I've attached the trunk, I've bent it just a bit to create a shape like this to make it more realistic as Ganesha's trunk. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to make the thread using the small ball that we used. So we're going to use the same exact technique, knead it a bit and make it into a ball and then a thread, and then we'll go from there. So now I've made the thread. It's very thin, so be careful when you're making it, just in case it breaks. So when we're putting it on, we want to break it into little bits and put it like this, in this direction. So as you can see, I've made the thread and I've put it around the trunk and to the bottom, and I've attached it here and also right behind the ear here. So we're gonna use the last ball to make the crown. Using the same technique, we're gonna knead it and we're gonna make a crown shape with it. You can make whatever type of crown you want. So using that ball, I made the hat and I put it on the top of the head. So now after putting on the hat, you can make tusks easily out of clay. So what I've done is I've made one full tusk and one broken tusk, as that is accurate to all the stories of Ganesha. And so we're gonna put the tusks just like this. So after that step, you're finished with your Ganesha and everyone can make one. It's really simple and easy. And what else is optional is you can put eyes or draw eyes, and you can also put the Nama if you want to, and even the umbrella if you want to. So that's it for this Ganesha, and this is an eco-friendly Ganesha, so when you put it in a river or a lake, it's not harmful to any animals that drink from that water, and it's safe for the environment. Happy Ganesha Chaturthi!